Hi, welcome back. This is Valerie with Valerie Turner Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. Today is Friday Flame Day, so we're going to have two options here to see exactly where your person is right now. Where is their flame? What are they thinking of when they think of you? So you were drawn to this reading for answers. So let's dive deep here, and we have two options. So we have our first pile, which is this key. Beautiful. And we have our second option, which is number 2, with this key. So this is option 1, and this is option 2. And you're going to choose between option 1 and 2, and we're going to get started. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started with group number 1. And group number 1 was this key right here with the wings on it. So let's take a look and see what we have here. So the 4 tarot cards that we have is we have the 4 of Cups, we have the 8 of Wands, and we have the Temperance card. So let's dive deep here and see where on Flame Friday, let's see where your person is right now. Where's the connection? What are the energies that are transforming and transferring between the two of you? So, we have the Temperance card, and, as a divine feminine, you still feel that there are differences between the two of you. You acknowledge that. You know that there are definitely deep differences between the two of you, and actually that's what made this relationship so interesting. Is it had similarities, but there were really some big differences too that were very intriguing. And you've been trying to find a way to compromise and to think, how can we both make changes in order for this relationship to come together? And, you really had come to the conclusion that you're really willing to only step up to 50%, as you should. And that you want him, the divine masculine, to step up to 50% as well. As I look at this card, I really feel like that even though you guys are different, what he appreciates about you is your courage, and he appreciates your protective nature, your hope, and your faith. And I'm really feeling that the divine masculine needs to go out and have some crappy experiences and at that point I think he can then appreciate you. We have the 8 of Wands. This tells me that this relationship came on quickly. It came on strong and fast, and the divine masculine came in. Could have been a lot of texting back and forth. If it wasn't a lot of frequent texting, it was a lot of, when you did text, it was long, and it was a lot of information. It was deep. You both opened yourself up. Probably the feminine, just by this card, I'm feeling the feminine maybe opened up a little bit more than the masculine, but you could see it was there. It was, it was nourishing. It was a real nourishing start. And, as you look at this card, there's not a lot around it. And I think both of you felt like, wow, how did I find this person when there's so much open space, if that makes sense? I think you both felt lucky. You thought, wow, this is really something unique. I believe that you went into it with a little bit of a naive nature, but that, that was sort of an attraction to him, your naive nature. And in a way, he has that as well. But it was a relationship that both of you felt from the beginning it could flourish. It could definitely flourish. So then we have the Four of Cups. And what I believe happened is this relationship came along and it flourished, and it did really well for a little bit. And then something started to creep up into the Divine Masculine's head. And this could be a variety of things. It could be he had abandonment issues. It could be immaturity. But he started to pull back. He pulled back from the relationship. And I think that the Divine Feminine actually stood her ground. I mean, there comes a point when the Divine Feminine can no longer feel disrespected. And he's way too much in his head. He's struggling internally. He pulled back. And I feel like this is you with this cup. And you're saying, look at what I have. I have more protective nature to add to your life. I have more hope and faith. But most of all, I have value. I am a willing person who's very steady-handed and would really love the opportunity to add value to your life. The Divine Masculine pulled back. He does see the opportunity in front of him. He does. But he's questioning whether he's good enough. He's questioning whether he can make you happy. And if you look inside of him, there's a huge voice of criticism. You can see that within this card. A great amount of criticism going on in his head. And he's all up in his head over this. There's no way he doesn't see the opportunities in front of him. But what had to happen is he started to pull away, and the Divine Feminine had to stand her ground. And this is where the split in the relationship happened. And it's very difficult when somebody pulls away, and to me, I don't think you're getting a lot of explanation here. I don't think that you received the closure and what you needed, what was important to you in order to move forward. This person is, emotionally immature and not coming forth and giving you really the details that you need to heal and move forward. And what you have to remember is that, you can approach this type of individual in 3 ways. You can approach him from your ego side. You can approach him from a side of fear, or you can approach this relationship and him from an angle of love. And I think you felt all three of those emotions, but in the end, I really feel like that you approached this person who pulled away in an emotional state of love. And you wished them well and walked the other direction. It can be very, very difficult when somebody starts to pull away and then you don't get all the information. But I do believe that you did approach this in a mature manner. So something that played a shadow or casted over a dark energy on this relationship is anger. It comes out of nowhere, and as soon as I show it, I immediately regret it. Immediately. I take things to heart real quick. So, I definitely feel like this is coming from the divine masculine. And there's a level of anger within him. And like we talked about, this is a person that is really questioning himself right now. He's in his head, he's questioning, am I good enough? Can I follow through with this woman? Can I be what she really wants? There's a level of responsibility when you go into a relationship. And I don't think that he had the confidence to step up and attempt to give you what you really needed. And I don't think he expressed that he couldn't do it as well. The hope for this relationship, cotton candy. So cotton candy is such a cute word. Cotton candy, I love it. And, you know, the hope is that the masculine remembers. He remembers your uniqueness and your sweetness and your rarity. I mean, how often do you really have cotton candy? It's such a unique and rare item. You know, when he met you and he rushed in, I mean, he just absolutely wanted to gobble you up. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but it was really, he felt like he just could not get enough of you. And he remembers that, and he craves that, just like you would crave cotton candy. So that's so cute. All the great things that he remembers, it all comes down to a level of pure sweetness that he's unsure he could really walk side by side with, I think. So your key that you chose for group 1, if you look, it has the angel wings. And look at that, how appropriate to match the temperance card. He truly felt like you were a unique angel, one who had a level of beauty that really took his breath away, although never expressed to you. And he sees so many good qualities about you. But this confidence and this voice of criticism, he's hearing all these things up in his head. And it had become so much that he had to pull away. This is a person that really wanted to make you happy. He really, truly wanted to make you happy. But he's struggling internally, and I can tell you one thing, he really appreciates that you came to him at the end in an emotional state of not as much ego and fear, but you attempted to leave with love. Maybe it was verbally expressed, maybe it wasn't, but he knows that the exit that you made was from a position of love. So your soul card today is the owl. And this is a beautiful card, isn't it? Look at the owl on the front. So the owl, this is an invitation. This is an invitation for you to look around you. Notice every detail of everything that is surrounding you and find hidden messages that are brought to you. Do not shoot the messenger. Be grateful to a friend who shows you what you have not wanted to see until now. Observe all the facets of the diamond without judgment. Remember that the facets you dislike are often mirrors of the parts of you that you do not want to recognize. Do not be afraid of the truth, as it will come to you and to be your compass. So the truth around you will come to you and it will be your compass. Remember that the parts of you that you don't want to recognize are what are important. That's a great message. That's beautiful. Let's take a look at our charms. Let's see what pops out here. Okay, we have the kitty cat. And I definitely see that along the lines of being patient. And also, this could be a symbol. You shared a cat with this person. You have one, they have one. And you just recognize that there's so much that you have to share with someone. And in time, that love and that faith and that hope and nurturing disposition that you have will be at the perfect time. You have a star. I really believe at night when you lay in bed and you look up, you do still think of this person. You know that you gave this person all that you could possibly offer them. And going back to the owl, you know, that maybe that's a sign or a quality in you that you wish you could let go, but you shouldn't, because letting someone know exactly how you feel about them is not oversharing. It's just you being your true self. And people appreciate that. And I know sometimes, you know, as us women, we feel like we overshare and we overgive and we let people know too much about us. But in the end, that's who we are. We are nurturing and we are caring. And if you feel like that you let this person know too much about how you are feeling, please don't. That is a huge, huge strength on your part. And we have the elephant. The elephant is you want someone who's going to feel like family and who's going to be in your family unit. And because of the voices and the insecurities and the internal struggles of this person, you know, it just wasn't a good fit right now. But eventually, in time, you're going to have that person next to you that nourishes you and you nourish them. on a 50-50 level. Let's take a look at my numbers, and we're going to pull a number card. So I pull number 4. And the number 4 card, let's take a look at it real quick. Of course it'll be the last one, right? Okay. The number 4, a beautiful number because it's very balanced. And that's who you've become. Very balanced. You may not feel completely balanced, but you are, because you left this not in a state of ego or fear. You left this in a state of love. Just as there are 4 seasons, there are 4 different directions, there are 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. This number is a number of calmness. And I believe that you're definitely getting to that point with the Temperance card, a point of calmness. I truly feel, as I'm reading the energies here, there wasn't a lot of rebellion. I don't think there was a lot of ego involved in this at all. You really set forth on a commitment to be true to yourself. And although somebody pulled back, you truly handled it with hope, faith, and grace. I truly feel that. As far as what this person would want to say to you, if they had a chance to speak to you, these are my messages cards. And this person would want to say 2 things. They want to say 1, and they want to say 2. And we'll end the reading with this. Number 1, every time I look at the Divine Feminine's picture, I get lost in her eyes. Every time I look at your picture, I get lost in your eyes. See, he really saw that intense sweetness, rarity, loving, unique feature in you. The second thing that he'd want to say, I know we were meant to meet each other, and I know we were meant to never forget each other. So that is just absolutely further confirmation that here he is in his head. He pulled away, and he knows that there was a lesson to be learned from, even though there were ups and downs, the calming effect that you had on this divine masculine. The amount of pure goodness he still feels to this day. He gets lost in the pictures of your eyes. And he knows there was a lesson to be learned. And if anything comes from this, please remember that you may not still be together, but you taught this person something that they're going to take with them the rest of their life. And it was more of something that they needed to learn internally, not for other relationships and to be successful in that area, but to be successful in their soul. You taught them something between love and patience and nurturing and faith and hope and value in your encouraging words. They took away a stronger soul because of you, and they know it. And that's really the message today. You made this person's soul grow through love. Thank you. This was a beautiful reading, and I had such a joy presenting it to you today. Thank you, Group 1. Thank you. Hi, Group 2. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. Group 2, let's get started. You chose this key. It's beautiful. Let's see what we have here. Set some of these cards to the side. And we have our 3 tarot cards. We have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Wands. And we have the 6 of Pentacles. So we got fire and earth energy. Let's start with the 9 of Wands. Okay, so Group 2, we are here for Flame Friday. We're going to see exactly where your person is, how they're feeling about you. What is their energy? What's the energy of you and this person right here at this moment, at the time that you stumble upon this reading? So we began here with the 9 of Wands. And so initially, my energy is that I'm feeling is, and let me just say, as I notice these 3 cards, all male based, except for right here as the couple, but really all male based. This is actually really a male dominant sided reading here. If you really want to get some true feelings on where he's coming from, Group 2 is definitely the strongest for the masculine energy. So to catch up here real quick, where I was at, the 9 of Wands. So this person feels very beaten up. Now when I say that, I don't want you to think, oh yeah, of course, he thinks he's been wronged. I don't feel that. What I'm getting in this reading right from the beginning is he feels like the relationship as a couple, you and him, has been beaten up, as far as he's really wanted this to work out. And I think that will actually surprise you. Like, he feels like he's beat himself up. He's feel banged up that he hasn't been able to really express how he feels and make this work. This really sounds like he doesn't understand how to come across and tell you what he really needed or needs to make this relationship come together. He's really willing to keep it going. I mean, inside, I'm getting this energy of like, I just don't want to give up. I absolutely do not want to give up on this. He feels very headstrong on this, feminines that are listening. He wants to keep pouring himself into you. That's what I'm feeling. The 6 of Pentacles, what he wants to do is he wants to show you his emotional side as far as generosity. He wants to show that to you, and he wants to feel in your presence that he is fearless. Deep down inside, he wants to be close enough to be fearless. I mean, he's really resilient in trying to figure out a way to prove this to you. He wants to be a provider, but he wants you to allow him to lead. And that's where I feel like there's a beginning not really problems, but the beginning of the debate for this relationship is that he wants to feel like he is in his masculine. He wants to lead at points. He wants to make decisions. He wants to be able to speak his mind and feel like he's heard. We move to the Three of Pentacles. He sees in this card a shared vision. He wants to try to follow a plan, and he really wants to follow that plan with you. This is a completely reading as group 1. I mean, this is someone that wants to make this work deep down inside. I mean, I don't know how much feedback you've received from this divine masculine, but he wants to embrace this relationship. He truly does. He realizes that you are meant for him. He sees a plan. He sees a shared vision. He wants progress. He doesn't want to feel that there's any force put upon him, though. He wants it to evolve naturally in a masculine lead, if that makes sense. To allow his masculine energy to come out and not be wronged for who he is. Now, I'm not saying you have. That's just how he feels. So let's take a look at what is something that has casted a negative energy over this relationship. Admiration. I flourish when surrounded in an ego ascending environment. So, once again, I have so much divine masculine energy coming out at me. I just feel like I have all these masculine energies speaking to me and not feminine. It's as if all these masculine energies are saying, take all this information and pass it to the feminines. So I'm saying that he feels like a lot of times the feminine is in an ego place and the feminine is in a masculine place. And he feels like there's not room for two masculine people in this relationship. A card of hope. What is a card of hope that could turn this around and bring this back together? Delicate. Yeah, delicate. What these masculine energies are telling me, that the divine feminines that are listening, and if this is not your reading, it's not your reading, but if you're relating, you are an ultra independent woman. You know what you want, you're self-sufficient, you can take care of yourself, you're great at planning things out, you're great at organizing, you're great at manipulating everything, manipulating in a good way, things to work out in a positive result. You know how to create success, and he knows that. This divine masculine energy knows that. But what he's trying to tell you is, he's trying to tell you that you have to grow with him. And in order to grow with him, you have to be able to ask for help. And when you ask for help, you have to embrace that help. He's trying to tell you that you need other people. It's okay to need other people. It's okay to reach out and allow people to help you. It's okay to be in your feminine energy. And I think what's happened here is the divine feminines that are listening, then maybe you grew up as a tomboy, or you were rewarded for maybe hiding your feminine side. And this is a part of you that he truly adores. He truly adores the delicate side. He wants to be the masculine in this relationship. He wants to come forth first in a lot of areas. And he's so attracted to the strong, independent woman. Don't get me wrong. He loves that part of you. But he so is craving and having a difficult time internally with the fact that he really wants to embrace your delicacy. Your delicacy. You know, the soft side of you. He wants to feel like there's a safe place for him to express his feelings and open up and be in a place where he's emotionally safe. And he also wants to see that feminine side of you that's just so cute, that he knows that's in there. And he feels like it's so much covered up with so much masculine energy, quite frankly. Let's take a look at your soul card here. Your soul card is water. Okay, so with the water card is an invitation to learn more about yourself. This is such a beautiful card. When water arrives, you are invited to watch your emotions. Know they are going to be changeable, and do not settle on a conclusion at this time. If you feel joy, feel that fully. If you feel sad, allow sadness to move through you. Water invites you to see the flow of events in your life and for you to trust the ride of opportunity that is ahead of you. This is such a great message because it's saying, you know, feel who you deeply are inside. And I'm connecting with a divine masculine and divine feminine reading today. And this divine masculine is saying to you, as a ultra independent woman, you know, I know that there is a wave of femininity in there that maybe has been suppressed since you've been young. And maybe you've had a difficult time knowing how to bring out that delicate, soft, feminine side. But this masculine is beat up inside, determined to keep going, determined to see that in you. This is a very positive reading because, you know, usually I get these readings where people are holding back and there's third-party situations involved. He wants to make this work inside. He wants to prove to you that he can be the masculine in this relationship, but he needs you to be the feminine in many ways, but still keep your independence. And I know that can be easier said than done. Let's take a look at your key that was on your stack of cards. And I have many keys to choose from, but this key, if you look, this is what he's wanting. This is so perfect. This is what your divine masculine is, fighting for inside. This is what he's screaming for inside and beating himself up for. Is look at the simplicity of this key. I mean, I have other keys that are just like, really. They're just like all over the place. They have like all this stuff on them, But this one, he sees this simple, pure, beautiful feminine. And the only thing he is beating himself up for is he's trying to make this work in order for you and him to come together to create love. This is his priority right here. But he needs to be able to be comfortable in his masculine energy. Let's take a look at some initials. So I have T-Y, M-X, U, G, and F. Now this does not spell what I'm thinking. F, T, Y, M, X, U, and G. But what came to mind is, this is just the image of this statement. You are more than I ever thought that you could be, that I could have dreamt that you could be the woman in my life. You're more than what I could have ever dreamed of. I am so in love with the gentleness in you. I really see that. I see the word hug. I see the word flirty. I see, it may not be spelling this, but I'm seeing the word me and you. Let me provide for you. There's such a strong sense of strength coming from this masculine energy, and the will to fight, the will to take on this relationship. And it is as if he knows inside it can work. He knows what it takes, but it's just been so frustrating because he hasn't been able to fully, accurately define it to you. And I'm hoping that this reading today helps you understand more about the masculine and the feminine energy, and the delicacy and the softness and the safety that he wants to feel with you. Okay, so if this masculine could say anything to you, these are my messages cards. What would this masculine say to you right now? He would say one, and he would say two messages. Number one, your masculine would say, you see every weakness within me, and somehow you see through my anger straight to my heart. So he is so attracted to the times when you are able to embrace your soft side and embrace your femininity, and to slow down on the ultra strong woman. You see every weakness within me. So he wants to be able to express his weaknesses in a safe place. Somehow you see through my anger straight to my heart. It's beautiful. The second message, the Divine Masculine says to you, I know you genuinely want to bring my heart happiness. I feel that unspoken connection. So he knows that your truth, the truth that is inside of you, is to bring happiness to his heart. And that's why he's gonna fight. That's why he's there, beating himself up and keeps going, relentless, and he's not giving up. because he knows that the true purpose and the true motivation behind your spirit in this relationship is to bring happiness to his heart. And he feels that with an unspoken word, unspoken. This is a very deep connection. This is a soulmate connection. This is a super positive reading. All that needs to happen is that there needs to be a conversation face to face, acknowledging the masculine and the feminine energy and bringing that together to a very simple form. It's a simple form, a simple conversation, because in the end, both of you, all you want is love. This is such a great reading. It was a pleasure to be a part of this. Thank you so much for letting me read the energies to you, and I wish you the very best of luck going forward. Thank you.